I'm in Shenandoah National Park at about mile marker 81. I'm in the Southern District today. This is the Doyles River parking area. There's my red car there. It's about 10 a.m. and it's extremely cold and windy up here. It's about 35 degrees with high winds. So I got to get out of this off the top of the mountain here real quick. I'm parked here, but I'm going to go down to the overlook down there where the Winnebago is. That's Big Run Overlook. And we're going to pick up a trail and we're going to hike down the west side of the park today on a creek called Big Run. Big Run is the largest watershed in Shenandoah National Park. So I don't know if I'm going to hike all the way to the park boundary or not, because that's a pretty long ways, but I'm going to hike down for a ways and hopefully we'll see the run and some sights along the way. The elevation here is 2880. I'm at the Big Run Overlook. I parked just up that way to the right, maybe 100 yards. Here's the overlook. Here's a look to the west. Wow, it's cold up here this morning and windy. I got to get off the top of this mountain quick. Here's a sign telling you where you're at. And here's the trail. Big Run Loop Trail. We're going to follow this down for a mile or so and then pick up the Big Run Portal Trail, which I believe is a fire road. So here we go down the side of the mountain. I'm 1.2 miles into my hike and I'm down to 2,230 feet elevation, and this is my first contact with water for Big Run. There it is coming up off the side of the mountain. Here's the trail. There's a little bit of a rock wall they built. This trail is very nice hiking so far. It's well maintained. You can see that rock wall that the Park Service put in. There's the trail over there where I gotta go. And here's the beginnings of a Big Run. And from here on down, it looks like this canyon is forming, which has water in it now. So from here on down, it'll be water. Here's where I came from. Nice trail. And let me turn around this way. There's the water again coming off the side of the mountain. Looking up the mountain. And for now, we're going to continue on that way down the side of the mountain. I'm 1.8 miles into my hike. I'm down to 2,060 feet elevation. There's where I'm headed. Here, take a look around. There's a canyon down there. That ridge line up there is where I came from. And that's where I came from. It's finally starting to warm up a little bit. to like maybe 50. I'm 2.4 miles into my hike. I'm down to 1,690 feet. And I finally made it down to Big Run. Very nice. There it is coming off the side of the mountain. Right there's where I crossed over. That's where I came from. So, came across on those rocks there. And there it's continuing on downstream. So it's quite a ways from here down to the park boundary. But I'm going to continue on up this way, and I'm going to look for a right-hand turn to get off this loop trail and start heading to the west on the Big Run portal, which takes you all the way to the park boundary on the west side if you go far enough. I'm going to follow it down for a ways. Maybe until about 11:30 now, maybe follow it down until around noon or so, and then find a place near a crossing with Big Run. And I brought a day hammock. If there's no flat rocks, I'll just throw up the hammock and relax a little bit. So for now, we're going to continue on down the side of the mountain. About 100 yards or so after you cross Big Run for the first time, you'll see that signpost there. So the Big Run loop trail continues on to the left and eventually takes you back up to Skyline Drive. The band say it's about 2.3 miles back up to Skyline Drive in the Appalachian Trail. And here's the Big Run portal trail, which follows Big Run for quite a ways. So here's the way I'm going to go for a while. Let's see. That looks like could be a nice place to camp. Big Run's right down there. Maybe you can hear it. That would look like a nice place to camp, except there's a sign sticking up out of the ground that says no camping. So no camping right there. But don't worry, there'll be plenty of other places to camp along Big Run. So for now, we're going to head on down this way. I'm basically still at the signpost that I showed you in the last video. That's a little feeder stream, and the signpost is down that way. But this area right here does not have, there's no camping signs posted here. Now look at this. Take a look around. This looks pretty nice here. So you could park, it'd probably be legit to, set up camp right here. Heck, there's a huge tree there. Another one right there, perfect for hammocks. Perfect distance. That ground there's flat. You got your little stream there, or if you walk 100 yards that way, you got Big Run. And then over that way is the signpost. So I was getting ready to head down the trail, continue down the trail, and I saw this little footpath, and I followed it back up here, and sure enough, it's a nice little campsite here. So I'm going to mark this one on the map too. Big Run Portal Trail is a fire road, as you can see, an old abandoned fire road. There's Big Run right there. I'm 3.4 miles into my hike, I'm down to 1,530 feet elevation. And since I've hiked more than 3 miles and it's just a little bit after noon, I saw this camp spot right down here next to a big run. And so you can see I've got my pack hung up over there. I think I'm gonna stop hiking here. To go any further downstream, I'm gonna run the risk of getting wet. The next crossing is kind of dicey, and I don't feel like taking off my boots and crossing and then drying off and putting them back on and all that. So I'm just going to stop here. It's been a nice hike down this far, and this is a little camping spot here. It's obviously been used a lot. Take a look around. Here's how cleared off it is. It's under some pine trees. Nice flat area. Big Run's over there. The main part of Big Run is over there. This is kind of an island in between a couple of branches of Big Run. That's looking upstream. Here's another branch of Big Run right here. And up there, just beyond that dead tree that's fallen down, is the trail. So this area is a nice area, but you wouldn't want to camp here if you were expecting any kind of heavy rain, because this whole area looks to me like it could flood. You could get a flash flood down here in a heartbeat. So anyway, I don't like camping out when you're expecting heavy rain anyway, so this is perfect for me. So I'm gonna throw my hammock up here and relax. Here's how I hang my hammocks up. For day hammocks, I use this mule tape. I think in my last video I said this stuff's rated at 1,600 pounds, but actually it says 1,800 pounds on this tape, so it's pretty strong stuff. I've got a loop in it there. I loop it around a tree, and then the free end here I put into a marlin spike hitch, with this carabiner being the marlin spike, so to speak. And then the hammock attaches to the carabiner. These are climbing rated carabiners. For hanging a hammock, you want to use a climbing rated carabiner, not some cheap thing. And then this is also quite strong. This is made out of a multi-strand synthetic fiber called Amsteel. And it's arranged as a whoopee sling. Whoopee sling has a free end on it here, and it's actually 2 sections of rope. This stuff is hollow in the middle, and so you've got one strand of the rope goes through another strand through the middle of it, and this forms a constrictor section. And so when you get in the hammock, the outer part of the rope constricts down on the inner part and keeps it from sliding. There's no knots, it's just held on totally by friction. And then to loosen it up, you push up on it, and that loosens the constriction, and then you can adjust the length. There's my hammock. That's an ENO double nest hammock. Very nice. I use it for day as a day hammock. For overnight camping, I use something that's got a built-in bug net. But for taking your boots off and relaxing, this is real easy to throw up. Takes less than 5 minutes to throw it up, and lets you get off your feet for a while. There's my hammock and my pack over there. Alrighty, here I am in the hammock. I ate a little bit of lunch. Went over that way. The main part of Big Run's over there. Maybe you can hear it. Went over there and got a few pictures, some video. So I'm going to lay here in this hammock for a while and relax, maybe till 1 o'clock. And then it's about 3.5 miles back up to my car, so uphill all the way. So when the Spirit moves me, I'll get out of this hammock and pack up this little bit of stuff and head back up the side of the mountain. Right there's where the little campfire fire ring is. There's no fires allowed in Shenandoah National Park though. It looks like there's actually been a few built here though. And then the trail's back up that way. So I never did take off my jacket. I'll have to look and see what the temperature is. I got a small thermometer on my pack. I don't know, it might be 60 degrees. It's still kind of cool. I never did take off my jacket. I still have my jacket on. I unzipped it though. And let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh yeah, well, today I brought this little Smith & Wesson 5-shot air weight. This thing's really nice. I wear this in a waistband holster, and it's actually more comfortable carrying this when I'm hiking than the Walther PPK. The Walther PPK is a little bit skinnier, but this is a little bit lighter, and this carries really good inside the holster. I have a DeSantis summer heat holster that goes with it. I'll take a picture of it. And I wear it on a cross draw because when you're wearing a pack, you really can't get to something like this if it's on your strong side because your pack's in the way. So, but if you wear a cross draw, you can reach over onto your other side from the front and pull out something if you have to. It's a little 38 Special air weight, Smith & Wesson. Thought I'd show you something else about these hammocks. There's the center line of the hammock. If you lay in a hammock like I am right now with my feet to the right of the center line and my head is to the left of the center line, if you lay like this in a hammock, you can lay pretty flat. I don't know if this shows up on the video very well, but I'm almost perfectly flat like this. So, and some of the hammocks I have actually are built asymmetrical like that. There's some of them have extra, like I have a Hennessy hammock and it's got extra fabric over here where I've got my feet in this one. They actually build a little foot box over there so you can put your feet in it. And then this is good, and you can turn over on your side in this position and be relatively flat also. About the only position that's not comfortable for me in a hammock laying like this is on my stomach. I can't sleep on my stomach in a hammock, or in a bed for that matter, but on my back and on my side, curled up like in a fetal position, that's pretty comfortable too. So you kind of have to experiment, but the most uncomfortable position is like this, like I was before. If you lay in it like this, now I'm in a banana shape, okay, which is fine for a few minutes, but overnight your knees get hyperextended backwards and so forth. So the best way to lay in a hammock is to go off center like this with your feet on one side and your head on the other side. There's another campsite I missed on my way down. Coming downstream, this will be on your left. But there's a little rock cairn. There's a little pathway back here. This is a nice little area here. It's been cleared out. You can see the fire pit there. It's been cleared out. Lots of trees. Very flat for in the mountains. Very flat. The trail's over there, and just beyond the trail, down in the canyon there a little ways, is Big Run Creek. So there's plenty of water here. I'll mark this one on my GPS also. I think this is going to end up being campsite number 4. Illegal fire, but you know, what can we do? I'm 4.3 miles into the hike. I'm climbing the mountain, and I'm back up to 1,740 feet elevation. And this is where the trail originally crossed Big Run. So I'm going to cross it here and keep on going straight over there and on up the side of the mountain. Still climbing the mountain. I'm 4.7 miles into my hike, and I'm basically back up to the first camping spot that I showed you on the way down. I'm just over 2,000 feet. The elevation here is 2,012 feet. The camping spot's right over there. That's heading back up to Skyline Drive. Let me take a look around. Once the leaves come out on the trees, you won't be able to see much of the mountains. It'll just be a stroll under green canopy. That's the trail heading downhill. That's where I just came from. I still got some more elevation to climb. About maybe 800 feet of elevation to climb still. Over there's a camping spot. And back around to the trail heading up the hill. .9 miles into the hike. I'm up to 2454 on elevation, and there's the world's most luxurious outdoor carpeting, this moss. Super, super soft. I don't know if my camera will refocus or not, but there's what it looks like around here. There's where it came from, up the side of the mountain. Okay, I'm back to my car. The 6.7 miles approximately. That's what my GPS says. I usually on my YouTube videos, I usually let Garmin Basecamp calculate the distance, and I use that distance, but it'll be about 6.7 miles. I'm back up to about 2880 elevation. This is the parking lot. I'm a little bit over on the east side of the mountain. There's the west side over there. Skyline Drive. Really high winds over there. Now if you take, and that's the way I went to do my hike over there on the west side. If you go down here, this is the Doyles River Falls Trail. If you follow this down about a half a mile, on the left there's a cabin, Doyles River cabin, that you can rent out overnight. You can rent it from Potomac Appalachian Trail Club, PATC. Here's the map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is McGaheysville, 1999. This is Skyline Drive coming down from, I entered the park up here off of Route 33 at Swift Run Gap. And from there it's about 15 miles or so drive south on Skyline Drive, which is the red here, until you get to the Big Run Overlook. That's just south of mile marker 81. And there's a little bit of parking space actually at the overlook, but I parked over here on the east side where there's a larger parking lot, and then just walked over here to the overlook. And then at the south end of the overlook is the trailhead. This part of the trail right here is really steep with these switchbacks. Until you get down to the first water crossing that I show in the video. This is where the Big Run shelter used to be, but it's not there anymore. It got dismantled. Here's the first camping spot that I show in the videos. Then from there we pick up this Big Run Portal Trail, which is actually an old fire road. And I followed this down to here where I circled it. Right before, here's a little feeder stream coming in from the left. This is the feeder stream that I decided I didn't want to cross because I had a good chance of getting wet trying to cross it. And I felt like I had hiked enough, about 3.5 miles down to here. So this is where I stopped and put up my hammock and had some lunch. And then when I was done with that, then I just retraced my steps all the way back up the side of the mountain, back up to Big Run Overlook. The datum reference for this map is NAD 27. You have to set your GPS to that if you want it to agree with the map. And there's about 11 degrees western declination for magnetic compasses. and each contour line on this map is 40 feet. I think I'll add an additional short video clip showing how you come up with this 11-degree western declination. I'll have to go back to the original map and print the bottom portion of the map so that you can see what's down here and how you calculate this 11 degrees. So that's the hike for today. Here's what the bottom of one of these USGS topographical maps looks like. Here's the very bottom of the map, and I've explained before these vertical lines are UTM grid lines, and the distance between this one and this one is 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer. Okay, so here's the datum reference. This is North American datum of 1927, also known as NAD 27. You'll see that I wrote that on my map. And then to calculate the magnetic declination, you have to look at this diagram right here. This MN is magnetic north. This star is true north. And GN, this line here, is grid north. Now, grid north is the same thing as these vertical lines. So when you're using these maps, you don't have a true north reference. There's no true north on these maps, just grid north. Here's grid north, and that's what this diagram is showing you right here. This GN is grid north, okay? So you've got grid north here, here's true north, and there's magnetic north. Now these angles, this 1 degree 26 minutes of angle, that's the angle from grid north to true north. So from here to here is 1 degree 26 minutes. The angle from here from magnetic north to true north is 9.5 degrees. Which is 9 degrees and 30 minutes of angle. So the angle between grid north and magnetic north, to get that angle, this angle right here, you have to add these two angles together, okay? You have to look at this diagram to figure out whether you add the angles or whether you subtract them. If grid north was over here somewhere, on the west side, then you would have to subtract the angles to get the difference, the angle from here to here. But because these are on opposite sides of true north, you have to add these angles together because these angles are always given to true north. Okay, so you have to add 9.5 degrees and 1 degree 26 minutes. So here it is down here. 9 degrees and 30 minutes plus 1 degree and 26 minutes. So you add the minutes up. The 30 plus 26 is 56 minutes. And 9 plus 1 is 10 degrees. There's 60 minutes in 1 degree. So 56 minutes of angle is real close to 1 more degree. So that's 10 plus 1, approximately 11 degrees western declination. So that's why on my other map that I took on the hike, I drew it in as 11 degrees western declination.